Well, let's get to the advisory now, and my guest says that young Australians are missing out on professional life insurance advice. Christine Cupitt from Council of Australian Life Insurers joins me now. Christine, good to see you. We were just talking before with Paul Brennan, economist at Suncorp, about cost of living pressures and the like. Why would young people look at life insurance? What do you say is your advice as to potentially why they should?
Yeah. Well, Juliet, we have a generation of younger Australians, smart young Australians, who are locked out of financial advice, and that's putting their futures at risk. These are young Australians that are thinking about building their own strong financial safety net, and life insurance is a critical part of that. So we want them to be able to have access to the advice and the information that they need to make those good decisions, but that's just not happening right now. Our research is showing that 50%, more than 50% of young Australians want advice about life insurance, and just 10% are getting it. And life insurance is so important for those younger Australians and their safety net. We paid $13.3 billion worth of claims last year, but more than 2/3 of that was for what we call living benefits: income protection, total and permanent disability insurance, critical illness insurance. That's exactly the sort of insurance that young people should be thinking about. They've got their whole working life ahead of them, and to be able to start early and build that strong financial safety net is so important.
In terms of broader financial advice, I mean, we hear a lot about young people getting it from the likes of social media, TikTok and the like. How do we sort of change that narrative, particularly if financial advice just is out of reach in terms of cost?
Yeah. Well, young Australians know they need financial advice, but they're locked out of it. It's difficult for them to find a financial advisor that they can talk to, and they ring our call centres every day, but we're not able to answer the simple questions that they have about their cover. So they're turning to TikTok, digital, social media at rates that are much higher than other age groups, and who can blame them? It's a pretty dire situation when there's only fewer than 600 financial advisors that provide advice about life insurance on a regular basis, and we can only have half the conversation with them. We can give them factual information or general information, but we can't answer the questions that are personalised to them.
What's the worry as well about scams potentially from people that are not licensed financial advisors?
Well, it's critical that young Australians have access to advice that is trusted, but also from reputable and qualified sources. Life insurers continue to express a strong preference to see a qualified professional financial advisor, and that is so critical that they're able to do that. But they also want to talk to us. They want to talk to their product issuers and have answers to those simple point-in-time questions about their cover.
So what do you think is needed? Some sort of government reform in order to make advice more accessible?
Well, the government has promised a series of reforms to make advice, particularly simple advice, more accessible. Those reforms cover some important initiatives to reduce red tape for financial advisors and make it more efficient for them to provide advice to more young Australians. But they also include reforms for life insurers, so that we can provide that simple advice when people ring up with a question about their cover, do it on the spot and do it at no additional cost.
But I guess what would be your final elevator pitch to a young person that is struggling to even buy their lunch, why they would then go and pay for life insurance when they think, I've got my whole life and career ahead of me? They're not looking at the worst case scenario.
Yeah. Well, those young Australians are seeing those key life moments. They're seeing people become unwell or injured. They're seeing people who can't work due to disability. And they know themselves that they need to build that strong financial safety net, which is about savings, but it's also about insurance. Younger people have fewer savings to fall back on in the early stages of their career. And overwhelmingly in our research, younger people have the highest levels of trust in life insurers compared to other age groups. So I think they know that they need it. I think they know that there's value and they benefit from it. We just need to give them more opportunities to have that conversation and understand their advice needs.